Let's upgrade the links on my Redcat Ascent 18. So one of the weak links on the Ascent 18 is our links here, mainly the suspension links, but we're gonna go ahead and change out the steering link as well. No pun intended on weak link there. But we're gonna start by pulling the wheels off. One of the things, I'll show you in a little bit, but let's pull the wheels off and we'll get started. Of course, I've got a different body on mine, but one of the difficult things on these is the shock mounts, and you got to be very careful because you can break them. You have to get back in here and get on each side and pop them out. What you can do though is take a little drill bit and you drill just a hole in the center, and what that allows you to do is you can leave the shock on the little mount, and you can get through to the Allen head to take those off and just leave the screw part attached to the shock. So that's what I've done on these. It's just a pretty quick, easy mod on these. If it'll focus. Okay. See how that is? You may have to rotate around just a little bit, get the head, but nice little mod to do on these. So the links for these, we're gonna have to undo our little skid plate here, and to get these upper links here off, and then our lower links are easy. They're just right here. So you've got 4 screws for those, and then the head for these is under our skid plate. So we'll take the top of the skid plate off, and then we'll take the actual bolts that bolt it to the frame off, and then we can get to the heads of these. Like I said, these links back here, it is through the center of the shock. So either drill the head like I did, or gently pop the shocks off, and then you can get in there. I would recommend doing this. Doesn't have to be a big hole as you saw, pretty small little hole, just big enough. If you do it in the center, just big enough to get your Allen wrench through the hole. And then our upper links, pretty easy to get to. And on this one, we got a nut, and then the Allen head on the other side. So before we do this, before we get this taken apart, we're gonna do the suspension links first, then we'll do our steering. You could do either one, or you don't even have to do all of it. You could do just the steering, or you could do just the suspension. I bought these as a package. It came with both, if I recall correctly. We've got a bag here. These are from Injora. I'll put a link in the description. They're good quality links. I'm gonna slide this out of the way for a second. And we're gonna do some comparing because we do not have instructions, and I may need to look this up, but while we have ours together, we can start looking at these links. This looks like this is gonna be, let's see. Okay, we're gonna just pair them up and then assemble them. And then I'll figure out where they go. guess you'd call these ball links, and they're off camera. So on these, you just take the little ball and press it into the plastic. So you don't have to watch me do all that. What I'm going to do then is once I get a pair of them done, then I will just screw them in to the little shafts. And basically, once I get them screwed in, they will, you know, be something like that. But I'm going to take some time. No need to watch me do all this. It's going to be the same for all of them. They all look the same. Doesn't appear to be any that are different. So we'll get all the links assembled. Guess y'all can watch me. It looks like these are not, you can watch me do one. We'll start on the one that we were doing. It looks like these are not pre-threaded, so just be careful to get them started somewhat straight. We're gonna use this bag to keep from marring it. And I guess technically you could adjust these, but I think we're just going to thread them all in all the way, and if we need to back them off, we can. All right. So like I did that one, I'll do this one. This one's easier to hold now that I've got a grippier thing and not just having to hold the shaft. I don't have to. And then of course you want to make sure these are indexed correctly, which if we look, it looks like they're all indexed the same way. Just turn that. And so we've got one link done. I'm just going to go through and do all the others. All right, a few minutes later, we've got them all assembled. Now, it makes a little more sense once they're assembled. I started looking at them and started thinking about it. I put these bins in here actually for ground clearance. So what you typically get is you'll end up with a flatter bar. I don't know if you can tell. These run a little bit of an angle at full height. And what you do is you end up tucking the bar more and then kicking up to get your angle back right there close to the axle where it doesn't matter as much. So they tuck in tighter. So if you measure just by the length, our curved bars are our bottom bars, these, and they go with the, if you look how I've got them aligned with the in line with the bend. And then of course all the bars, I just indexed the joints the same, you know, in line, I guess you could say. But you can see how those are done on the short one and on the long one. And with our short, the closest to the angle will go to the axle. If that makes sense. So we're going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to start our disassembly. I think I'm going to start with our skid plate. get that out of the way, and then we will start undoing all of our links on the axles. Mine's gonna be a little different because I've got I've got stuff here, so I gotta work around all this stuff. One quick note, I am able to get in here, but mine's slightly different. I've had to modify this tray, this battery tray, to fit this body. So if you need to pull the battery tray, it's just 2 screws on the side, on each side. Those 2, and then those 2. But I think if you've got a thin enough bit or Allen wrench, you can kind of get in here at an angle, and this plastic will give a little bit. It's up to you. And then I'm gonna have to pull this off. This is for my lights. It's a light controller. And I'll just put a new piece of tape on that. Okay, so now we can see what's going on here. And you've got four screws through this skid plate. You can see we removed just this cover that reveals the side of the skid plate. Slider, I guess, not skid plate. And these outer ones go through your upper links for the front and the rear. So we're gonna remove these outer screws on each side. Okay, that undoes our top link. Now, we're gonna go ahead and undo these 2 screws for the bottom link on each side. Now you could undo the axle ones first. I typically undo this side first because then we can pivot the axle down and get to this top link better. And of course, keep track of where all your screws go. And if you hear snoring in the background, that's the dogs. I just realized I could hear it, and it's probably showing up on camera. Well, I can't really see that. I don't know if y'all could, but I couldn't. Can y'all see that? Looks like y'all can. These 2. Okay, now that we've got these links undone, you could do this a couple different ways. I think we're gonna go ahead and just get everything completely disconnected. If we wanted to, we could go ahead and hook up our new links. They're really not gonna be in the way, but let's go ahead and get these completely out first. So I'm gonna take my long Allen wrench here and I'm gonna go down through that hole like I was telling you about and undo this, and this just makes this so much easier. I think they actually redesigned this in the later models. I may be wrong on that, but I kind of think they may have. It essentially makes it similar to how this is. See how that's open? I don't know why they closed in the bottom ones, the bottom mount. See, you can just leave the shock completely connected and just put it out of the way, and we got our link off. And just so we don't get confused here, we know our long links go to the back. We're just going to set them over here. And our short links go to the front. And I ended up with one more here. There. And it looks like on our top mount here, or front mount, I'm just looking at this because I need to flip it over to do these on the other side. But before you flip it, check to see which orientation the head of your Allen screw is for the top mount. And on mine, the back, the nut is here. And on the front, the nut is on the opposite side. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this one because it's accessible, and when we flip it, we'll do the other side. It looks like that's got some kind of a cap on it. Or maybe it's just threaded in, I can't tell. It's threaded into something. I'll show you when we flip it over. So that one does not have a nut on mine. I'm gonna put that one in a slightly different spot so I know where that one went. Actually, we're gonna sit over here. And I'm actually gonna flip it this way. I'm getting really wobbly in the front. So if you look, I don't know if you can tell, there's actually a plastic piece that threads into. There's no nut on the front one. On the rear one, we have a nut. I think I'm gonna go ahead and undo the rear just for the heck of it. Yeah, this probably would have been easier without the shock in the way. We're gonna finish getting the shock off. I think we're about to run into the shock, so I guess I should have done this first. Gonna leave those near each other because they go together. Just help keep our parts together. And it doesn't really matter that our drive shaft slid apart. We can slide it back together. Just make sure index the U-joints correctly. And that looks like it's wedged, so we can probably just loosen these off a little bit. Actually, go with this. Just kind of pinch between this transfer case mount or whatever. And let me just get in here now. Pop them out. And just for the sake of doing the same thing on each side, we'll just loosen these off a little bit. Just to help them slide in and out easier, to make it easier to slide the new ones in. Okay, so the only thing we have left is this. Turn our steering, give ourselves some more clearance. I'm gonna get that lined up just right with that hole. And that's it. So we'll get our old links out of the way, and we're gonna do the upper link first since it's harder to get to. And that is our straight links and the short straight one for the front, the long straight one for the rear. And on the straight ones, there's no marking for Injora. If you want, they do stamp these opposite, so you can have Injora facing the outside on the bottom links if you want. Or you can hide it. And of course, both ends are the same on these. Straight ones. So we've got that, and going to get our screws. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and just slip the front one in. Make sure we get our right screws. Keep in mind you're threading into plastic, so don't over torque them, and we can do this skid plate, or I guess this would be called a skid plate. We can tighten those down now. So all four of these are tightened down. If we wanted to, we could put the slider cover back on as well. We'll hold off on that until we get it sitting easier. Let's go ahead and flip it over. Actually, I don't think our bottom links are going to be in the way. So let's go ahead and put the bottom links on. I want Injora facing out. Our links will actually go like that. So if you look, I've got the wrong one. So I want it like that. To make sure, wait, I think I've got that wrong. It's gonna go like that. I had it backwards. Yeah, that makes sense, because we tuck it up. So we're gonna go ahead and slide that one in, and we'll get our screws for those, which I just go by the length and judge them. I told y'all to keep track of which one went where, but should be, those are the skid plate. I think I had the right one. It's these. Yeah. And for our back one, do the same thing. Judge our length again. Our long top link. And just like the other side, we'll put our lower links on. Take our really long screw, it's the longest one of the build, and we're going to go ahead at this point in time and put our drive shaft back together. And it is not indexed correctly. Now it is. So your joints should line up. The phasing of the joints, if that makes sense. Put you out where you can see better. That makes sense. And we'll just leave it like this for right now. Work on it like that. So we're going to slide our top links in place. Can be a little bit difficult once you get it started. There. Get that side is the one that has the plastic it threads into. So this is where we start our bolt through. So we're actually going to start this link first to make this easier. And we won't even worry about the other one yet. Okay, now that one is started, our U-joint has come out. I guess technically you could wait to put this on. And that is not phased correctly. That is, okay. Now we get that started. We will slip our other top link in place. Looks like that's about right. Again, keep in mind you're threading into plastic. And while we're here, I guess we could go ahead and complete the front axle. Might as well. Might take a little bit of wiggling, but you can get it lined up. All right, this will be easier to put on its side. That link keeps wanting to fall out. Front is done. U-joint indexed correctly. Our links are installed. Looks good. Now we've got the back. We're gonna fold the uppers out of the way. And I'm actually going to change which way the screw part of it goes in on. We're going to put that, doesn't really matter, but let's go ahead and do our U-joint. Get that clocked in, phased in correctly. And it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but we're gonna start our upper mount. Okay, it started. We're gonna come over to view the other one. Maybe if we turn it up, you can see it easier. That looks about right. There we go. And put our U-joint back in, our drive shaft. Fold down our link. And get that shoved on. I'm gonna go ahead and just start both sides. can see that's a little bit at an angle. I don't know if that's going to work for us. I don't think that hole goes at an angle. Right? You can see how that's at an angle. No, that's not going to work. All right. All right, we're gonna have to pop the link off. So a little trick, drilling the hole in there, it works to get them off, but not back on. We're gonna gently get side cutters under that shoulder. So we're gonna hold the joint. Sorry, hit the table, y'all are shaking. We're gonna hold the joint and get under that. There. So we're gonna go ahead and put this other side, put this side on. I still would say that easier way to get these off is to get it threaded out and do it like that, then try to work in here and do it. I guess you could get in there, maybe pop it off. I don't know. I still like this mod. Worked well for the front, just not as good for the rear. I think drilling that hole though probably makes it a little easier to pop on and off. What I've seen is people end up breaking the shocks trying to get them to pop off. They hold on so well. Okay, tight. Now we can just pop the shock back on. And for that, I'm actually gonna maybe use these. Man, it's a tight fit in there. And I'm just gonna fly out through the same process real quick on this side. And those links are not touching. They get close, but they're not touching. So it looks like we're good, flexing every which way. I don't know if you can see in there the air gap. So real quick, this video's already getting long and we still have to do our steering link. So I want to kind of get this thing back on its wheels. Well, maybe it's easier to work on without the tires, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put the skid plates on real quick. I'm not gonna video that. We're just gonna put that on and I'll bring y'all back when I'm ready to replace this steering link. Okay, so skid plate and all that is back together. I keep saying skid plate, slider. And we've got a similar situation here where we've got these little links. So no need to go back through all that. I'm just gonna go assemble these ball links real quick. Pop the brass part into the plastic and then thread them on to, can't see, brass piece into the plastic, thread them on here, just like we did for our suspension links. And then we will proceed with taking off these two screws, that one and that one, and the one in the little pitman arm right here. I guess while I have you here, we can go ahead and do that. index our new steering link just like that with the bends and the joints. And the other one doesn't really matter. But we will, oops, up close on that one. Let me assemble these. As you can see, our only difference here is these are 90 degrees offset from each other on this link. So when we assemble, our other one will do the same. Okay, we are assembled. One thing I forgot to mention, if you take a look at your hardware here, the screw that goes into the pitman arm on your servo is larger. You can see that it's larger diameter, if you can tell. So the hole in the link has to be larger. So if you look through your links, I don't know if you can tell the difference in those, but the one that's in the plastic is larger. And so all the links should be the smaller diameter except for one, and that'll be the pitman arm style. Now it comes with, looks like 2, but you only need one of them. So you might want to sort through your links and make sure you don't pop them in the wrong spot. So we've got small ones in these, small one on this end, and then a large one on this end. So I'm going to start by putting this one in, and it did come with new hardware. You look, it is the same. It might be just a hair longer. It's hard to tell. We'll go ahead and use the new hardware. And I'm going to put Injora facing up. When you tighten these down, you want to support the knuckle. And we're going to wait to put the screw in on that side until we get this, of course, indexed correctly. Got a longer screw on this side, and we're going to just start our screw through that link and down into this one. And then you've got, came with 2 larger diameter. It came with double the hardware that you need, which is nice. We can throw that in our little stash of hardware, and we've got spares. But the larger diameter one is the one that goes through your pitman arm. I call it pitman arm. However you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Our arm that comes off the servo. And apologize, this is going to be close. And we're just going to start that. And that's it. Installed. All I got to do now is put the tires on it. We're not going to film that. But there's our front links. Steering. Our steering links, and we've got our suspension links installed. This is a nice upgrade. These are good quality components. They come with spare balls and sockets, and you know, we can throw our old links in our pack if somehow we end up breaking one of these. Not likely. That's it. I'll put a link in the description to these. They're fairly inexpensive. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.